Hi. So yesterday, the 15th on Wednesday, I boarded an Embassava matatu from Donholm all the way to town. A certain okay, the plates are over there, up there. So kuingia, of course, the first thing you do is get a spot, settle down, and then wait for the fare collection and everything else. And that is what exactly I did. So I sat right after the driver's section, right after the barrier that nini inatenganisha kati ya picha yake na sisi wengine. So huyu makanga moja came and he poked me on my back. Okay, normally that is what they do. They tap you if wako nyuma yako ama you cannot, you just can't see them at that point. But this one didn't just tap me. He kept poking me constantly. And there was no that time frame sijui nini hapana. Nile amepo kwanza nimeturn. I saw him stretch out his arm. And automatically we all know what that means. So I'm going into my bag, I'm trying to pick, and he kept poking me. So it did feel uncomfortable the very first time, but I decided to overlook. I figured maybe anaona sina haraka ama he's just an impatient person. And because I really didn't want to, at first I didn't want to have an issue with anyone. I just wanted to get home and not get caught up in traffic or in a curfew or anything. So after paying him, I switched to the next seat where the occupants had just alighted, because also it was closer to a window. What I needed was fresh air then. So the tout comes again, and then akaja kwangu akaniambia nisaidie chwani mbili. I quote him, nisaidie chwani mbili, which I said sina. Ako like hapana, nisaidie chwani mbili na kurudisha. Nikamwambia boss sina. At this point he's holding on to my cloth. I was in a hoodie. Amenishika mikono yake naisikia, cause hata akini approach mara ya kwanza he didn't just tap or just come to my face. Nilisikia mkono ya mtu kwa mgongo wangu nini. And then he's there. You see, there's a way you can actually talk to someone without having your hands on them. There's that kind of respect. You don't just go touching people anyhow. So he's touching me, and now I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm already moving. Nico like, boss, I just said I do not have. So he kept pulling, and then he held onto my hand. Akaanza kunivuta pande wake. Niko like, boss, nini, I just said I don't have it. Like, I just don't have it. Nini tena, mbona unanisumbua? So he kept pulling me, and at this point he's trying to jaribu kunitoa kofia nini. And so, because I could, of course, there's no other point I could like move to. So the only option I had was to lean forth. Yes, and was there people? Yes, the guy that I was seated there, there's an old man that was looking at us. So I kind of felt like it got so uncomfortable for him because he tapped the tout akaambia nifungulie mlango, and I figured that was my break because I figured this guy won't come back after all that. Shock on me, the guy, after the man alighted and everything, and I'm really trying to just hope that won't happen again, because at that time I was already shaking because okay, I might not exactly put it into words what happened, because there's a lot that can happen in a minute. There's a lot that can happen when someone is holding on to you. There's that feeling you get when someone's hands are on you, they're invading your privacy, you're infringing my, yes. So he came back. I didn't think so. I was actually looking at, nilikuwa nimeangalia nje at that time. So nikasikia tena mkono yonishika. And on time niko like, boss nini tena? So like ati njoo nikwambie, he's pulling me, he's holding on to my hand, and actually he's one of his hands is on my shoulder, another one like amenishika tu, because now he's leaning and then he's coming to sit. His face is so close to my face. I am leaning forth but he's still insisting, ananivuta upande wake ati njoo nikwambie, njoo tusemezane na kila kitu. Niko like, boss, tafadhali, this is not like why nini tena, wachana na mimi nini. So the fact that the very first, so many of the times I said, just let me be, he didn't go. And then I didn't have, alleging was an option, but I was on the road along Jago Road. I don't know exactly where exactly, and I don't know what could happen to me. So I'm trying to stay put, just hoping that this guy will just let me be. I get to town, I forget about everything else. But he doesn't seem, it's like he was enjoying it because he kept pulling me and everything. So I figured the only thing was just to move seats. I could just go to the back where there was like, because we were all scattered, and technically I don't expect someone who's at the back to see what's happening huku mbele kabisa. So I figured the only other option was for me to actually change seats and go to the back where there were some people, hoping that this guy will have at least some conscience or whatever, and some self-respect, not even come there. But clearly this wasn't. So I figured the next step, because the car was also being driven at a very crazy speed, so I figured let me, because niliogopa kutembea mbele yake, because I didn't know what else he could do. So I figured the next, watu wengine wakishuka, because there are people who are lighting the next stop, wakianza kushuka, I'll also take that opportunity to move haraka. So yeah, so after wameshuka nikaenda kusimama, there's a guy who came to sit hapo mbele. Yeah, and at that time the tout, after ameingisha watu, akaja tena. So on seeing him, that is when, because at this point I was literally shaking. My anxiety, I was shaking. Yes, I was literally shaking, because this guy has been harassing me na kila kitu. Amefanya hizo vitu, kana nivuta pande wake, anafanya nini. I was uncomfortable. So the guy next to me saw it all and asked me if I was okay, and I said, no, I'm being harassed in this matatu by this tout. And he looked back and asked me, is this the same tout that is coming after you? And I said, yes, it's the same tout. I have paid the fare, I've paid everything. I thought like I'm having a conversation with him. I'm the most unproblematic person ever. So I really didn't, there's nothing I'll say I did to warrant the kind of treatment I was getting. So I swapped seats again, and the guy had to sit next to me. So after the tout came and saw the guy sit next to me, alienda huko nyumba, there were other two ladies in separate seats, akaenda kusumbua mtu mmoja. And at that point I tried taking, I think when I stood up to try to take a photo of him indirectly, the other tout probably made out my phone position and everything, and went to tell him, because the tout became dodgy. Long story short, again, when we were lighting, so everything happened. It was crazy in there. The only thing we could hope was get to town safely. So on a lighting, the lady that was being harassed, a couple or whatever they were doing ukonyoma, the shukad, another woman was trying to alight, the woman that just preceded me. And I kid you not, as you shuka the last step, that tout groped that woman's ass in my face, I swear. And I turned back, and the guy was like, Apana, this is not how you try to win female passengers. Regardless, this is not it. So when I tried to pick out my phone again, the tout akaenda kaketi uko kwa drive uko mbele, shotgun. So I alighted and I went to the driver, and I confronted the driver and I asked him why it is that his tout was just comfortably harassing passengers, female passengers as a matter huko nyuma. And the driver just asked the tout, unaharas watu wewe? The tout said no. And then the guy that saw this, because was still there was still with me, because at that point he was like my boss or anything, asked, mbona unasema pana? I saw you. The reason why I'm still with this person is because I can't just leave her to experience what it has been going through. And because it was so late and nothing was being done, we had to leave. I came complain to their pages. They blue ticked me. So when the post was made on Twitter, and I asked why they will just take my niece as one of their another bluff, because it's been a whole night and a whole morning. The least you can do is actually get back. I mean, the least you can actually do. But after all that, I realized someone sister people started saying it's the same trend with that matatu, and I figured I'll not be part of another statistic. I can't have a panic attack, because I cannot start fretting in matatus or getting panic attacks because I'm now scared, I'm feeling unsafe. We're all trying to make a living, for heaven's sake. You can't just come and harass people just because they are alone or whatever reasons. That is not it. This is not it. And yes, I'm furious because that gave me some weird shock. I had so many other thoughts crossing my mind at that point. I had so many other things, and it was not right. It is still not right. considering I might bump into that person again and again, it is not fair.